was on his way to a community right on the border to educate voters there. And if you know that enclave very well, you will know that there are Ghanaians who live on the border and just across the border, who ply their trade and do their business in Ghana, and vice versa. And that is a very normal phenomenon for all our border towns. So it is never true, and the proof that what the NPP said last night is total falsehood, that they were not able to adduce any evidence. They could not show you the said ballot papers. They could not. It's total falsehood. Is that they were not able to adduce any evidence. They could not. A group of people who have seen that they are losing power and have become so desperate, so vicious as to churn out deliberate propaganda, deliberate falsehood to deceive the unsuspecting public, and through that incite their hooligans to resort to violence to undermine the peace and sanctity of the process currently ongoing. We decided to ignore these frivolous allegations for good reason, because as a political party, we are very focused on what matters on the ground. And we trust in the discernment of Ghanaians to separate lies from the truth. And so we didn't even think that it was important to dignify this frivolous, baseless, concocted fabrication with any response. But it's become necessary for us to set the record straight now, because the NPP clearly is not going to stop. They are going to hold a series of press conferences to churn out nothing but lies, just so they can incite their supporters against the NDC to engage in violence, to manipulate the process, to rig the election, as they have always done. And so a few minutes ago, the NPP held another press conference. And at this press conference, they made two major allegations. One, they claim that somewhere in the Akache South, in the Kintampo South constituency, the police has arrested an officer of the Electoral Commission for what they describe as tearing off the top parts of the ballot paper for this election. And according to them, that top part which was torn off was the part of the ballot paper which has the image of the NPP. The police has arrested an officer of the Electoral Commission for what they describe as tearing off the top parts of the ballot paper for the election. And according to them, that top part which was torn off was the part of the ballot paper which has the image of the NPP presidential candidate, Alhaji Ahmadu Bawumia. So, the NPP, this is evidence that the NDC wants to rig the election. Now, we will show you a picture of that ballot paper. And so, if those in charge of the screen are ready, I want that ballot paper projected, and also show us the official statement issued by the Akache South Constituency Secretary responding to the dubious and frivolous allegations that were leveled against him by the NPP yesterday. Now, ladies and gentlemen, even before I show you this, exhibit, the question we should all ask ourselves is, does the Electoral Commission work for the NDC? Emphatically, no. So, if an electoral officer of the EC, okay, so let me take you back. This is the rejoinder issued by the Constituency Secretary of the NDC in the Akache South, Akache North constituency, and gives a blow-by-blow account of the incident that happened, and the fact that he was not arrested at all, and the fact that the ballot papers in his possession were sample ballot papers meant for voter education. He has not been able to adduce a scintilla of evidence to buttress the allegation they made last night just to create false alarm. They have not been able to do that, and we dare them to come with the basis of that allegation if they have one. Now let's quickly go to Kintampo South. Show us that torn ballot paper. Show us that torn ballot paper, which the NPP claims is evidence of the NDC rigging the election. The torn ballot paper. Now, as we wait for that, the point I was making is this. Officer in the whole of Ghana, out of 40,000 polling stations, one presiding officer of the Electoral Commission in tearing a particular ballot paper from the ballot booklet, makes a mistake according to him, and tears not whole is evidence of the NDC's rigging plots as far as this election is concerned. Nothing could be further from the truth. Clearly you can see that this is yet another frivolous allegation by a desperate, failed political party who can smell defeat coming, and so they resorted to all manner of frivolous allegations just to incite their hooligans and their thugs to engage in violence and manipulate the electoral process. This was not done by an NDC officer, it was done by an electoral commission officer. And so if anybody ought to be blamed, it is the electoral commission and not the National Democratic Congress. It's as simple as that. In fact, we are even concerned because chances are that that voter might have voted for the NDC candidate. But if this ballot paper is rejected, that goes against the NDC. And so we even have an issue with the electoral commission. But of course, when you are dealing with an election being manned by human beings, you must, as a reasonable person, give room for human error. There must be a margin of error. And so you just don't pick one case like this out of 40,000 polling stations and then say that the NDC, which is not responsible for tearing ballot papers for voters, is the one responsible for this. These guys are just wasting everybody's time. Then the last allegation they made this afternoon is that the son of the NDC constituency chairman for Akwema Kwangoma in the Ashanti region has been caught with 76 ballot papers, and so it is evidence that the NDC wants to rig this year's election. Again, this is another frivolous allegation by the NPP. Number one, the young man in question is not even the preliminary information we have received from our executives in Akwema Kwangoma. He's not even of voting age. He's a minor, number one. Number two, the young man has a mental problem. And number three, the young man was not caught with ballot papers. He was caught with, or they found sample ballot papers in his custody. So here again, we are not talking about ballot papers, but sample ballot papers meant for voter education. And because this is a young guy with, a mental issue, he went on the frolic of his own to this police station for reasons best known to him, and he was caught. That cannot be evidence of the NDC trying to rig an election with sample ballot papers. Who rigs an election with sample ballot papers? When any reasonable man ought to know that during the sorting process, that sample ballot paper will be flagged as a foreign material and removed from the ballot papers, which will be eventually counted and the votes collated and declared. So clearly, this is another frivolous allegation. These are the three allegations the NPP have been making against the NDC since last night. And you can see that these are vexatious, these allegations are vexatious, they are totally baseless, and they are symptomatic of a political party who are desperate to hold on to power even when they have seen that power is leaving them. And you in the media ought to fact check them and call them to order, because this is deliberate disinformation by the NPP aimed at escalating tensions and inciting their facts. I want to repeat that for emphasis. To engage in baseless retribution, violence, thuggery, to manipulate the peace and sanctity of the ongoing electoral process. Now, ladies and gentlemen, having dealt with the three frivolous allegations from the NPP, let me now show you real evidence of rigging that the New Patriotic Party has been found to be engaging. Real evidence. Ladies and gentlemen, earlier this morning, in Pokwase, in the Amsaman constituency, at a hotel called Royal End Hotel, our supporters, led by our regional youth organizer, Amos Blessing, got intel. The NPP had assembled 4 young people there who had in their possession electoral materials in the nature of ballot papers, BBD machines, and even printers and cash. And that these young people were there printing a lot of ballot papers for the purpose of ballot stuffing. So they got wind of this information and besieged the hotel. They managed to break inside. They went and caught these people, and lo and behold, the intel was spot on. 4 young people with DVDs, with printers, with ballot papers, not sample ballot papers. We dare the NPP to show one ballot paper found in the custody of any NDC supporter or agent for the purpose of ballot stuffing or for undermining the sanctity of this process. We have found a lot of ballot papers in the custody of these 4 NPP miscreants. And they have DVD machines, biometric verification devices, which are used for the sole purpose of voting. They had printers, they had cash. And so let's see, we'll show you some of those pictures. In fact, if you go on my Facebook wall, I've already put that out, and we will also show you some before you leave here, for you to know that what we are talking about is totally factual. These guys were caught at Royal Inn Hotel with these ballot papers, biometric verification devices, and printers, cash. And it will interest you to know that they had already printed the ballot papers for Alhaji Bawumia. All the ballot papers have been printed for Alhaji Bawumia. They have been printed for the NPP parliamentary candidate for Trumu and the NPP parliamentary candidate for Amasamai. And so, screen guys, I just forwarded to you those pictures. If we can have some of them on the screen, it will be good. Now, the second one has to do with an incident that happened at Xenia Hotel in Accra earlier today. And this was a case of NPP executives in the Ladede Kotupong constituency who had in their custody the official device that the Electoral Commission uses for the purpose of voter transfer. It will shock you to know that on this day, election day, the NPP had camped a lot of young people at Xenia Hotel, and they were actually transferring, we don't know where they vote originally, but they were transferring their votes to Ladade Kotupong so that they could vote at Ladade Kotupong here in Accra. We got wind of it, and led by our constituency secretary, Jifa Bunu, and some media men, we went there and we busted them, and the police arrested them. TV3 actually did a story on that. And so if you can show us the Xenia Hotel video, even as you make the Royal Inn Hotel videos ready. Xenia Hotel video, let's have that one on the screen. Xenia Hotel video. Yes, so that is a Xenia Hotel video. This happened in Accra just this afternoon. And TV3 was there, their correspondent Komla Kuluche was there. The MPP candidates had camped these people there. And on election day, they had access to the voter transfer device. And they were transferring people to Ladade Kotupong so that they can vote today in Ladade Kotupong. How did they get that device, which should be in the custody of only the Electoral Commission? So we are not making frivolous allegations. The media was there. This video I actually got from TV3, and you can confirm from Kwamla Kuluche. It did happen. Now, are the Royal Inn Hotel pictures ready? Okay, so we will show you the Royal Inn Hotel ready, and that one you will see ballot papers, not sample ballot papers. Now let's put that aside and talk about an incident that has happened in Tolon in the northern region of Ghana. So can we see the pictures? In Tolon, what happened today was that in Nyankpala, specifically the Nyankpala campus of the University of Development Studies, UDS, the NPP candidate, parliamentary candidate for Tolon, Habib, the deputy chief whip for the minority caucus in parliament, was found distributing or sharing money to some of the students there to vote for him. And he was doing this with MPP officials. So our NDC supporters, when they got wind of this, went there to confront them, and it led to some heated exchanges. Habib and his men then left the scene and then returned a few minutes after with guns. They went to the Yankpala campus and started shooting indiscriminately. Nobody got hurt at the campus. They scared the people away and everybody, ran from the scene. On their way out from the Yankpala campus of UDS, at the entrance they saw an NDC shed with some innocent NDC supporters seated under the shed. Immediately they saw them seated on benches under the shed. They opened fire on them without any provocation. And they murdered one person in cold blood at the spot. Another was seriously injured and is currently at the hospital undergoing treatment. This is not the only picture. Show us more pictures. The Yankpala, show us more pictures. So you are engaged in vote buying. You are confronted by NDC supporters. So the one who died, you can see him under that. This is an NDC shed. If you look at the far right hand side, you will see NDC written on something on a bench there. And you see the person under there. They shot him and killed him. This is not a tag. This person clearly might have voted and was sitting under that shed. He did nothing wrong. They opened fire on him and murdered him in cold blood. And yet these people have the effrontery to call press conferences and rather accuse the opposition for trying to rig an election. This is how evil they are. Can you show us more pictures? There are more. Show us more pictures. The pictures of the bullets. The bullets which were found at the scene when they shot at the people and killed them. Okay, so this is what has happened. A very sad, condemnable incident that has happened in Tolo. Then, a few minutes ago, we also had a very shocking incident happening in Kwadaso constituency, very close to the SDA hospital, Kwadaso constituency in the Ashanti region, where our national organizer with the Ashanti regional vice chair of the party picked intel that the NPP were storing some ballot papers, not sample ballot papers. That is the difference between the issues we are putting out there and what the NPP is disturbing the nation with. And so they followed that intel since yesterday, and today they got the spots where these ballot papers are being stored. So they went in there, broke into the place, and ladies and gentlemen of the media, they will surprise you to know that we found over 500,000 ballot papers at that location. And we have a video of that. So show us the Yamin video. 500,000 sample ballot papers, or notice of pool. Ballot papers, 500,000 of them. 500,000 of them. Kwadaso, it was found in a house. No, it's a video. It's a video. What I'm asking for is actually a video of Yami. So, but let's go through sequentially. Okay, so this is the Yamin video. Sorry for that hitch. Can we get audio coming through? Yes. Let's send a small video. So everything you see there in the envelopes are all ballot papers. Ballot papers in boxes like that. These are all ballot papers. Ballot papers. Please repeat the video. Repeat the video. This is Kwadaso, and we have reported it to the police. We are inviting the media there to go and take a look. 500,000 ballot papers. Oh, yes. Just send a small video. So now let's go to the Royal Inn Hotel picture, the one that you put on. Let's go to all those pictures and let's show you what happened at Pokwase Royal Inn Hotel. Now go next image. That is a printer which was found at Royal Inn Hotel. Next image. CCTV footage of the guys, some of the guys who were arrested. Next image. This one of the devices they were using. Next image. Yes, next image. Next. So this is a guy who was leading them, who has been arrested by the police. And we will actually play to you the video of when they were put into the police vehicle and were taken away from the said location. And I have personally brought this to the attention of the CID boss. Do you have another image? Yes, so this is when they were... No, show us the video. Youth organizer confronting them. Continue the video. Even as I run the commentary. That's the printer. The BBDs are in. And please, can you show the picture of the ballot paper so that people would know that this was not sample ballot papers but real ballot papers? That picture is there. So you can see, we will share all these things to you. You can see the top of the ballot paper is written the ballot paper. This is not a notice of who. It is not a sample ballot paper. It is ballot paper. And that is what they were printing today. And they had printed all for Bawumia, the MPP PC for Amasamai, and
yo, eti sorry Brena abo no nine, a no nine. No nine cry semana numa betoso. It is a CA make us say. Ye was semano edunum enum 55 minutes away from pepe. Se won kwatimu ye. Se won pia bonten. Se make us a wunni santini mu. Nya waju se ubetim na ebono num se ken. Wapa ho. Obi beto ama. But is it concerns I will honor yes nipa no to no baby omo to akone de obi o emfa no. But you heard the number of people a omo be decide amaye nyina we ye wo man mu. The number of persons who are ready to vote and who have voted and who will be voting. And no major concern no. It is a nipa ye wo krobi mu aye nipa wo ha. Na ye nipa wo ha ye wo kro ni mu nyina no. Emu be se eduoson etimi kire o madwem ye yi ebi apanyini bi so na ya no wo kro ni mu a. Na sa nipa eduoson no. Emu be se eduonunum pekọ a na ye koya na se ye bai. Eho asem ene ye ka ne sa no. Me say ti say ye wo ye krom na ye nipa wo ha. Ye kura ye firi mu nipa wo ha wo ene ye wo ho. Na sa nipa wo ha na ye se o mu a ye je o mutum se o metimi abekire o mu adwene se ye nyi nipa we no na ya no no eye be se duoson na sa duoson no ye se da na duru o mu mpie mekire o mu adwene ewie ya emu be aduonu enumpe ana wo de aboro so aduasa na obi abusa wo se na aduanan na wo hen se de Kristo busa wo se na nkron na aka na wo hen no enso ani enu nti ena magebre se menuanom nyina se ntrofo ya kan so bia won koye no enya too late but now it is getting late kane no ya ka jem so enya late ubetimi akọ but sisi e de it is getting late so wara se wumpie ya wo de wo dampam na bia wutie radio na se he go sresre a bia wo TV sai asofan asiw so en wagege dem amsre wara patade yese pia bontin ekutim wo se ame ma wo me fufu awie na mete won ma me fufu ndie na wawie wo anhwe wo kina ubenu ho yes ene de fufu ni bia wo se wa awie bia aka se munya de mo che me nko ba bia ma wo me fufu awie me se fufu ndie obewe na wanhwe wo kina ubenu ho eti sorry atade se pia bonten na ko kire wadwen bebi a woto akone de enye no na mehwe but me interest ne se wo be kwa bonten na won so akoto enye bibia e so ani kura se bibia bia ehwe nipa be 400 so mo meto aba na as make us say nipa 400 aye ni muso mbeto aba no ah what if we polling station A and a polling station LA JHS Manson Kwanta constituency na ye hwe ni mu say a nipa 503 eba beto aba wo mu ano o ma beto aba na 46 ah mo sure. Yes, it's a be make say mo for time no kan because likely be or way back a check before midday. It's no say e ba say na one for time na kan ho a e be defeat purpose no. It is a many time na kan ho a mo man confirm say time ben na yentimi emfa enkasa. But the point is that enye encouraging numbers are above bonten pa as we speak. But Manson Kwanta ho no. Okay. Amwako ho Enoch. Okay. So Enoch ena ewo Manson Kwanta. Enoch na abono na apa ho sema no enkro. Bibia ye boko bibia ugina no.
Oh, erade Yesu adom bibia boko. Sisi ameno ka say ya fema bedu Antwo krum. Ise ka say Antwo krum na ya ba bedu. Ba fri anopa ye start ye ne de man so de erade adom bibia boko. Bibia boko wa. Na ifrasi free Manson abore na yesterday edi a report no free na oko Manson area LA primary school abore LA primary school asat 10:30 na enipa ato aba no eye 284